and we are performing music for bagpipes and organ here at the Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's very appropriate to have a bagpipe band in a Presbyterian church because one of the greatest Scotsmen of all time, John Knox, was the founder of the Presbyterian Church. John Knox was ordained a priest in the Church of Rome in Scotland 13 years after the Reformation began. But it wasn't until after many years that he truly found what it meant to be a Christian. And in his study of the Scripture, he came to realize that grace was free and that salvation was free if he only accepted it and committed his heart to Christ. John Knox completely changed the face of Scotland. It's my very great pleasure to welcome on the Joy of Music today the Miami St. Andrews Bagpipe Band. We have performed together several times in the past, not only in concert, but on recording, music for bagpipe and organ. I would like to welcome the whole band today and their pipe major, Jack Sutherland. Jack, welcome to the Joy of Music.
Evening, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here.
I think it might be interesting, Jack, to talk about the origin of the bagpipe. Is it a Scottish instrument?
No, originally it came from the Middle East. It came from India, came from the Far East, came back through the Middle East, through Europe to Ireland, then from Ireland to Scotland. And each different country had their own way of playing the bagpipes, or a separate type of bagpipes. Some had one drone, some had no drones. Like in Greece, just played a goatskin bag with a mouthpiece and a chanter for a melody. Now you get to Spain, they have one drone, one long drone.
Why don't you explain what a drone is?
A drone that gives that humming sound in a band. We have, in Scotland, they have two tenor drones and a bass drone. There's an octave of difference in the drones. But in the melody, in the chanter, we only have one octave. And that's why the bagpipe's limited in the scale, some of the tunes they can play.
Well, I think it's interesting, or would be interesting for the viewers to note that a bagpipe can only play in, well, actually one or two keys, the key of B flat or the key of E flat, which is the reason why sometimes we hear notes in the scale which don't sound quite right. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah, because we're trying to play beyond the range of the instrument.
That's right. And I know some of the music that you're playing on the program today has notes in it that you really cannot play, but you have to play it in that scale.
Yeah.
Jack, are all bagpipes the same? Is your instrument the same as other people's in the band?
More or less the same. They're all kind of copied off the standards throughout the world, the size, the drones and everything.
And how do you learn to play a bagpipe? Are there teachers of the bagpipe?
Well, we have a practice chanter. It's an instrument without the bag. And it has a mouthpiece on it. It's a lot quieter. It's a flatter reading, and we can play it. And they have a manual for teaching. We're teaching kids at the school level, bringing them up into the band.
You have a manual for learning, but who teaches? Do people in the band teach?
In the band, our pipe sergeant right now has a class going.
Now, Jack, we've been playing concerts and recordings together for, I guess, the past 5 or 6 years, and you have always been the pipe major. How do you get to be a pipe major? That's the most important person in the band, isn't it?
I formed the band.
You formed the band?
From the beginning, yeah.
I see.
A couple of pipers came to me and said they'd like to form a pipe band. So we started forming a pipe band and eventually got it going, and I got left with it, so I carried on. I kept going, so it's been going almost 20 years this month.
Jack, I understand that people in the band are members of different churches, and you yourself are a Presbyterian, is that right?
That's right.
And the bagpipe is an instrument. Is it related to any church, or?
Well, the way I learned the bagpipe, I learned it in the Boys' Brigade in Scotland. When I was 12 years old, I played in the Boys' Brigade.
In a Scottish Presbyterian church?
Yeah, and I played there for 3 years. And I didn't play for a long time. I came back over to the States and started playing again. And I've been playing here for the last 25 years.
You know, it's wonderful because wasn't Amazing Grace one of the top popular tunes in England for bagpipes and organ?
It made the number one.
Number one top tune.
With a piper playing.
That's right. And we just heard Amazing Grace on the program, and it's so beautiful with bagpipes and organ. You know, there are several stops on the organ that sound like a bagpipe. They're old crumb horns and musettes, and they sound very much like a bagpipe itself.